If alpha is a quadrant 4 angle with cosine alpha equaling square root of 13 over 13 and sine beta equals square root of 3 over 3, where beta is between pi halves and pi, let's find the sine of alpha plus beta. Well, we have a formula for that. That equals the sine of the first angle cosine of the second. When the trig functions are opposite, the sign between them matches, so that's a plus. And then cosine of the first angle sine of the second. Now, with the information we have, let's draw a couple triangles. First, we will do alpha. It is in quadrant 4. So we'll draw a triangle in quadrant 4, and we're going to label it so that the cosine of alpha is square root of 13 over 13. So adjacent, square root of 13 over hypotenuse 13. Now let's find the missing side, and so we have x squared plus square root of 13 squared equals 13 squared. So that means x squared equals 169 minus 13, which is 156. If we square root both sides, we have x equals square root of 156. You want to leave things in exact form, but we're going to simplify this because this will divide evenly by a perfect square. 4 will go in there 39 times. So we can square root the 4, it'll come out in front as a 2, and the 39 still under. So this side is 2 square roots of 39, but because we're in quadrant 4, y values are negative, so I'm going to put a negative on there, so when I use this to get the trig functions, the signs will work out correctly. Okay, now we need to do beta. Okay, beta is between pi halves and pi, so if I draw this and it's going to represent beta, we need to do a triangle in quadrant 2. And we need to label it so that the sine is square root 3 over 3. So opposite, square root of 3 over hypotenuse 3. Let's go ahead and find the missing side. So x squared plus square root of 3 squared will equal 3 squared. That means x squared equals 9 minus 3, which is 6. So x equals square root of 6. We're going to label this missing side square root of 6, but we're going to put a negative on it because we are in quadrant 2 where x values are negative. Now we are ready to use our formula, pulling out the pieces we need, plugging in here. So we first need sine alpha. Going to the alpha triangle, sine is opposite, negative 2 square roots of 39 over hypotenuse, which is 13. Now we need cosine beta. Going to the beta triangle, we need adjacent, which is negative square root of 6 over hypotenuse, which is 3. Then we've got a plus. Now we need cosine alpha. Going to the alpha triangle, we need adjacent, square root of 13 over hypotenuse 13. And then we need sine beta. Going to the beta triangle, we need opposite, square root of 3 over hypotenuse, which is 3. So that is our answer in exact form. We're going to simplify it a little bit. We can combine these fractions. They have a common denominator. 13 times 3 is 39. They're both over 39. Now multiplying the numerators will give us a 2 outside of the radical. Then we can multiply these together underneath. 39 times 6, that's 234. We got a plus between them. Then multiplying the square root of 13 and square root of 3, they're both underneath, so we multiply them together underneath, and 13 times 3 is 39. So there is our answer in exact form. Now let's do part B. Part B, we need the cosine of the difference between angles. So that's cosine of the first angle, cosine of the second angle. When the trig functions match, the sign between them is opposite. So this is going to be a plus. Sine of the first angle, sine of the second angle. So using our triangles, first we'll get cosine alpha. We go to the triangle and do triangle alpha, and we do adjacent over hypotenuse, so that's square root of 13 over 3. And then we need next cosine beta, so we go to the beta triangle and do adjacent negative square root 6 over hypotenuse 3. This hypotenuse was 13. Didn't get that in there correctly. Okay, this is a plus. Now I need sine alpha. So Sine is opposite -2 square roots of 39 over hypotenuse 13, and then we need sine beta, and beta opposite square root of 3 over hypotenuse 3. Again, we're going to combine them with a common denominator. It's going to be 39, and the first one's going to be a negative. Square root of 13 times 6, that is 78 under the square root sign. Then I have a -2 here, so that's still going to be -2 out in front, and underneath we got 39 times 3, and that's going to be 117, and so there is our exact answer for the difference there for the cosine.